Hi, my name is Brian Seaman, and this is That Rings a Bell. As ensembles are heading into their holiday concert seasons, especially virtual holiday concert seasons, I want to talk a little bit about recording handbells at home. So in this week's episode, I'm going to walk you through start to finish how to set up and record handbells from your own home for the best results. The first thing you're going to want to do is find the best place in your home to record. Things to keep in mind while you're looking is a flat, neutral background, as much front light and as little backlight as possible. You want to stay away from walls with windows or an area where there are lots of lights behind you. You also want to listen carefully to find a quiet place to record in your house. Sometimes that will mean a room on the interior. That might include putting your pets on a room on the other side of the house for a little bit. You also want to note any external noises that you hear, such as appliances. If it is a steady, consistent noise, those can be edited out later in the editing process. So something like a refrigerator or another appliance that is running constantly throughout the entire recording process is pretty easy to deal with in the post-editing process. If you've got an air conditioning unit that kicks on halfway through your recording process, or you've got something that is inconsistent that's turning on and off throughout your recording process, that will be much harder to edit out later. Here in my living room, we have one of those water dishes that filters and recycles the water for the cats. That I need to unplug anytime I record bells, because the running water in the background is not always a consistent volume level. So once you've found a good place in your home to record, you can start to get set up. The first thing you'll need is a table, then some foam, something to cover the foam, some bells, and finally, your music. Now that you have all of the bell equipment you need, it's time to get some of the tech set up. Probably the simplest way to record everything at home is with your smartphone. Chances are it has a really good camera, and it has a decent microphone, even though it's designed for the human voice and not really the frequencies found in handbells, but it'll at least get you started. For the best recording from your cell phone, you want to place it in a steady location. And to do this, I use objects from around the house. In this case, a cardboard box and bell hog to set up my camera. Next, if you're using a click track for reference, you'll want to get a second device that you can plug a pair of headphones into to listen while you're recording. I like to use wired headphones because there's no delay that's sometimes found in wireless headphones. I also have headphones with a long enough cable that I can kind of put it behind my back with my headphones on, and that will keep the wire out of the way while I'm ringing. I definitely have tucked wires into belt loops or run the cable up through my shirt at times just to make sure that that cable stays free from any of my ringing. At this point, you can press record on your device, press start on the playback click track file, and go ahead and ring along. So as I mentioned before, the microphone in your cell phone is designed for human voice and not necessarily musical instruments, and especially those with higher frequencies like handbells. If possible, to get a little bit better audio quality, I recommend at least recording with a USB mic. They are fairly cheap in the microphone cost spectrum, and they are really easy to use as they simply plug directly into the USB port of your computer. If you're using a USB mic, try to get that microphone at least 6 feet away from where you are playing. That will get you a little bit better sound, especially with the initial strike of the handbells. When recording handbells, the initial strike of the bell is recorded as a spike in the audio, and then the sustain is usually quieter after that. In order to better balance that initial spike, called the transient in audio terms, with the sustain of the bell, a little distance from the mic to the bell will help that. The easiest way to use a USB mic is to plug it directly into a computer. I'm using a laptop here for my click track, so I'm going to plug this directly into this laptop. In order to record from the USB mic, you'll need some sort of audio recording software on your computer. I recommend Audacity, and I will put a link to that in the description down below. Audacity is a free software, and it's pretty simple to catch on and begin to use, at least for the basics of recording audio from a USB mic. Now, if you are using a USB mic to record to a computer and your cell phone to record the video, you will end up with two separate files. This should be fairly easy for whoever's doing your video and audio editing to piece those two together later. But if you would like one file for everything, it is actually possible to plug the USB mic directly into your smartphone. If you have an iPhone or an iPad and you have a USB to Lightning adapter, You can use that adapter to plug this microphone directly into your iPhone or iPad, and Apple will automatically recognize it as the audio source. Or so I'm told. I don't actually have any Apple products to test that out. You can also connect the USB microphone to your Android device, but there's one additional step. Just like with the Apple product, you'll need an adapter, in this case USB to USB-C, that will plug directly into your phone. Unlike Apple, the Android does not immediately recognize the USB microphone as an audio source. Instead, I've downloaded an app called Open Camera, in which in the settings you can go through and I can select the audio source and select external mic if one is present, and in that case it will then pick up the USB mic. If you're looking for specific instructions on how to use a USB microphone with your Android device, go ahead and Google USB mic and Android, and you should be able to find directions on how to set it up. I managed to get it working within about 2 minutes. It's super simple, even for somebody with limited tech knowledge. So that's the basics of how to record with mostly everything that you can find in your house. Probably the most advanced piece of technology we used was this USB mic, which, as I said before, is not necessary. It helps the audio quality over your cell phone microphone, but doing everything self-contained with your cell phone is totally acceptable. If you have any additional questions about recording at home or anything else virtual ensemble related, feel free to reach out to me. As always, the email is trabvlog@gmail.com. Also, continue to send in your questions and topic suggestions, and we'll try to answer them in future episodes. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Then some foam.